Hello everyone, welcome to Land. Sorry that have been absent from YouTube for quite some time. But anyway, today I'm back with a new video, and this video is a comparison between two fashion houses, Chanel and YSL, and I'm comparing their small leather goods, the card holder. For one, I had my Chanel for a long time. This is a 14 series, and it's about 7 to 8 years right now. And the hardware is actually silver. YSL is a new one. I just bought it this year in 2018. So right now it's about 6 months, half a year. And YSL has 5 card slot, one more card slot than the Chanel. And the hardware is in gold. Very nice. Next, take a look at the pocket. As you can see, the pocket on the YSL is a dead straight line for all the pockets. For Chanel, you can see the pocket is slightly carved and curved for all the pockets. For the YSL, majority of the pockets internally are leather and some are in fabric. The middle one is in all leather, and there is an embossed Saint Laurent Paris, and right below the Paris there is some embossment made in Italy. I don't think the camera is going to pick it up. But anyway, the emboss is not foiled, so we can't see. At the opposite, there is a string of numbers embossed on the leather. Probably that's the authenticity number. And the bottom pockets for the front and the back bottom pocket is one side leather in the interior and one side leather and fabric black. For the second slot front and back is all leather and canvas. For the Chanel, the interior is all canvas plus leather. And as you can see very clearly here, the interior canvas portion is supposed to be white color, but over the year it has already turned yellow. Not very nice, but what can you do? And in the middle slot is also canvas plus leather, but the canvas is in red color. I think that is a better choice. And you can see there, you see the authenticity number, and it's a silver foil Chanel with the Chanel logo. Okay, next I will show you on their capacity. Okay, I'm comparing bills from different country, but I've searched high and low. I only have all this currency. Okay, we have one from Singapore. This is a $50, and this is a is this a Taiwan? Yeah, this is a Taiwan bill, $200. And this is a Malaysia 20 ringgit. And this, let's see, this is Australia, 100. Of all the currency I have here, I think Singapore dollar is the biggest. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's the longest. Just a tad shorter than the Australia bills, but it's almost there. Almost I can say that it's the same length, but the height wise is much taller. Okay, so usually I kept bills, one bill inside my card holder just in case that I need cash. So I'll keep cash and card inside my card holder. So I've taken out all this card here. All these are all credit card material, plasticky. So they are all the same thickness and length and width. Okay, let's try with the Chanel. There's one here, very easily slot in. Even on the same on the first day that I bought the the card holder, sorry. So it's very pliable because the leather is very soft, and also because I find that the cuff pocket here plays a very important role in taking in and out the card. So it's very easy. Ergonomics. In the middle, I'll slot in my ID mostly, but let me just slot in this one card, and then I will put in my bill. Initially, when I bought this card holder, I thought I can just fold it once and then I can slot it in. But if you were to do that, it just barely hit. You see, I have already slot in all the way, and the bill is still sticking out. It's not a lot. I guess you can still live with it, but I don't really like the look of bills and money sticking out of my card holder, and I don't really use the cash that much. So for the most time, I'll just double up the bills and slot it in together, and voila, no issue. I don't see too much of a stretch at all, and I don't double up my card because I don't like to see them stretch up. As you can see, it's still quite flat. You can probably add right to about 4 cards in the middle slot, but I don't really like to do that, but you can do that with the Chanel one. So even though it doesn't have that much of a pocket, it can still hold a lot of card. Okay, so right now let's take a look for YSL. We'll fit everything in Chanel into the YSL. YSL has one more slot, but for the YSL, on the first day I bought it, it's very tight. Taking in and out the card is a pain. And right now it's still quite tight, but I'm not sure if I've gotten used to it or the leather has really did stretch out a bit. I believe it has stretched out a little bit. Put in is okay, without taking it out is a pain. Okay, let's see. Okay, as you can see, you have to push it in. Okay. In the middle, it's going to be a stretch here if you fill up all the pockets on the outside. But it still does fit. But it's a tight fit. It's really tight. I'm not sure if you really can go in. Because usually when I use this card holder, I typically just use 1, 2, 3 card on the outside, so it's not a big problem for me. But right now, after I fill up all the pocket, it's a stretch. And because the pocket is a dead straight line, taking it out, you need have this space here to take it out. So it's difficult. But for the Chanel one, because of the curve, you have more space to handle or finger your cards out. So it makes it more easy to take in and out. Just slide in smoothly. Oh, did I show the card with the bills? Yeah. As you can see now, I only left with 2 cards. So it's much easier to open up the middle slot. Fit in. Next, to have a fair comparison, I have put in the same number of cards and bills inside both card holders. So even though the YSL has one more pocket, I just leave it empty and have one outside, 2 at the back, and a card and bills in the middle slot. As you can see, the YSL when compared to the Chanel is just a tad taller, just a tiny, maybe 1 mm, 1 millimeter, slightly, ever so slightly taller. But the card, when slot into the pocket, especially in the middle, you can see the card. I'm not sure if you can see. This white thing is the middle slot. You can see it very clearly on the YSL, but for the Chanel, it's right inside. So even though the YSL is higher and taller, the card cannot go all the way down. And I think this is because the length is also different. The YSL is slightly shorter in length than the Chanel one. So the Chanel has more space to play with. So the card can actually go down all the way, whereas the YSL has nowhere to go and it just bulge up. And from this, you can actually see that the YSL is bulging much more than the Chanel one. Not a lot, but it's bulging nevertheless. And it's also because the pocket is a dead straight line, whereas this one is a curved line. And I also want to point out that the hardware on the YSL is thicker than the Chanel one. As you can see here, you can barely see the Chanel hardware is quite flush with the leather, whereas the YSL is quite thick. So the YSL at the hardware on the YSL tends to bulge out even more than the Chanel one. And because the hardware surface area is much more bigger than the Chanel one, I feel like sometimes it scratches up not easily, because the Chanel one also scratch up too, but the YSL has a bigger surface area than the Chanel one, so you can see the scratches a little bit more on the YSL. Okay, next I'm going to show how this actually fits inside wallets and bags. Usually for wallets, I use my LV, Louis Vuitton mini pochette. This is the monogram one. And I had one, what is this, card holder or key clay stuff already inside. So I'll put something aside from the card holder inside my mini pochette. So the Chanel one can fit in no problem, even together with the YSL. I think they fit really well inside, and yeah, it's full capacity. And you can still have space at the sides to put in some, maybe a lipstick. And this whole mini pochette can fit into mini bags also. Okay, here we have some eye candy. This is my Chanel mini in black caviar, not caviar, in pattern leather. So I just try to fit it in. Nope, it doesn't work this way. I have to take out those straps. Yep, just nice. Fit in just nice. Yeah, so you can fit into this one with the mini pochette. Let's bring out my YSL Walk. This is our new one. Same leather finish as my YSL card holder. Then all the straps. Let me just take it out. My YSL and Chanel card holder. Okay, let's try to put my YSL up inside. No issue. I can even fit in my, can I? My Chanel one. And sorry. No issue. So both card holder is tiny enough to fit inside small bags. That's why I love the card holder so much, because you don't need any wallet nowadays. And if you really need the cash, there is cash inside already. So the next I'm going to show the wear. Chanel one is my Chanel one here is a much older one. So definitely there is wear. And this color sort of look like a bit retro and vintage. So yeah, actually for the number of years it has served me, I think it has aged quite well. But as you can see, this color for burgundy, you can see the black color. Can you? Is it catching on? So the corner wear, there you go. There's some blackish thing going on here. It's quite obvious. But at a distance, you can't really make... Yeah, I think it's still holding up really well for how long it has served. The black color one, for 6 months, I think it's because that the card holder I had is in black color, and so the wear doesn't really show up at all until you look really closely. I did see some peeling off the black leather. As you can see here, it's peeling off, but because it's black color, so you're not really seeing it until you go so near, and you really have to look for it. But it's there, but it's really not noticeable or visible at all. So I must say, if you want a YSL, I think the YSL actually wear more than the Chanel. Probably also because that the leather is tougher, not as pliable, that's why it peels off easier. And also the corner is quite sharp because the bottom, there's a seam in between the bottom here, whereas the Chanel one, there's no seam. It's one leather from front to back. It's just one piece of leather, so there's nothing, it's not a sharp corner. I think that's probably also one of the reasons why the Chanel one wears better. But if you are buying the YSL one, you just buy it in the black color. I think that would be a much wiser choice because it's not showing up at all. Okay, I think, did I miss anything? No, I think that's all. So these are all the pros and cons you have to weigh. But for the Chanel one, the cost is quite high. The last I asked this year was 470 Singapore dollars with taxes included. The YSL, I bought it for $380. Yeah, so it's like about $100 Singapore dollars apart. I think the YSL is quite value for money, but I think on the other hand that the Chanel one, although it's short of one pocket, is very soft and pliable. So quality is much better for the Chanel one, and I do feel like the leather is also of a more premium type. So if you have more budget, I would say go for the Chanel one. But if you have a budget to go, I think the YSL is a good contender for the Chanel. And also because, on the other hand, I feel like maybe the YSL being a tough leather, it might be more durable than the Chanel. But we'll have to see that after years of use and see how it performs. So there you go. I hope this video has helped you guys to make a decision if you are considering to get a card holder from these two fashion house. Both are very good in their own ways. So I hope this video has helped. And yeah, that's it of my video. So I hope you will subscribe to my channel or click a like, thumbs up. And I shall see you as soon as possible. Thank you. Bye.